Hello everyone, and welcome to my Royal Family official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Following the coronation, King Charles and Queen Camilla are taking some time off to recover. After the rigors of coronation weekend, the couple has gone to their Sandringham estate in Norfolk. After the historic coronation celebrations, King Charles and Queen Camilla are apparently taking some time off to rest. For the remainder of this week, they have retired to Sandringham House, their exclusive home in Norfolk. According to reports, they might also stay there for the first several days of the next week. However, the royal crew has already started organizing their hectic schedule in the run-up to their summer vacation. The Order of the Garter ceremony and UK-wide visits are included in this. In the fall, a quick state visit abroad is also scheduled. This might be their trip to France, which was abruptly postponed in March due to instability there. With the King's presence at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa in the South Pacific already confirmed, a lengthy overseas journey is also anticipated. Nearly 10,000 miles away and midway between New Zealand and Hawaii, it will be a grueling journey for the King and Queen, who will be 75 and 76 at the time. Therefore, it is very likely that Charles will use the trip as an excuse to make pit stops in Australia and New Zealand, both of which are overdue for senior royal visits and where he is still the head of state. Now that her Instagram book club has evolved into a charity supporting reading, the Queen is also completing plans for her first Reading Room Festival at Hampton Court Palace in West London, which will take place the following month. According to sources, the King and Queen were thrilled to see so many people participate in the weekend celebrations and are happy with how the coronation went, according to the Daily Mail. However, it appears that the couple is now prepared for a few days out of the spotlight. The Prince of Wales reportedly confided in a volunteer at a Slough Big Help Out event that he was concerned about waking up Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis in time for school since they were so worn out after the coronation celebrations. Coronation confirms monarchy is here to stay, securing the future of the royal family, according to a poll. Despite police made multiple arrests in central London during the coronation, almost 80% of Express.co.uk readers believe that the British monarchy still has a place in British culture. Millions of people all across the world rejoiced during the coronation of King Charles III. However, when the monarchy entered a new period, many people thought about the royal family's significance in British life. While more than 18 million people watched the ceremony on television, tens of thousands of others were on the streets of central London to see the pomp and grandeur of the coronation. The newly crowned King and Queen consort Camilla were deeply touched by the country's commemoration of the momentous day, according to a spokeswoman for Buckingham Palace. However, not everyone enjoyed the festive ambience. 52 people were detained at the coronation for affray, public order offenses, breach of the peace, and conspiracy to produce a public nuisance, according to the Metropolitan Police of London. Graham Smith, the leader of the anti-monarchy campaign organization Republic, who was held in police custody for nearly 16 hours, denounced the violation of free expression. The Daily Mail reported that he stated, "These arrests are a direct attack on our democracy and the fundamental rights of every person in the country." Human Rights Watch's UK head, Yasmin Ahmed, strongly denounced the arrests. She declared, "It is quite disturbing to hear accounts of people being detained for peacefully opposing the coronation. Moscow, not London, is where you would expect to see anything like this. People may hold people in authority accountable through peaceful protests, something the UK government seems to be getting less and less interested in." The Metropolitan Police Commander Karen Findlay, who oversaw the policing operation, said, "We totally understand public disquiet following the arrests we made. Scotland Yard maintained its actions were proportional. Although legal, protests can be disruptive. In the run-up to and during the coronation, we policed a number of protesters without resorting to force. Our responsibility is to act in a reasonable manner in accordance with applicable law. Additionally, we have a responsibility to step in when a protest turns violent and threatens to disrupt normal society. Depending on the circumstances, one of the most important factors in our evaluation is the fact that the coronation only happens once every generation. Princess Anne provided insight into the monarchy's importance in a broadcast interview with the Canadian television network CBC Television last week in advance of the festivities. I believe it's absolutely true that there is a time when you need to have that discussion, but it's not one that I would necessarily have, she said. However, I would like to emphasize that the monarchy offers a level of long-term stability through the Constitution that is actually rather difficult to obtain in any other method. Princess Anne provided insight into the monarchy's importance in a broadcast interview with the Canadian television network CBC Television last week in advance of the festivities. I believe it's absolutely true that there is a time when you need to have that discussion, but it's not one that I would necessarily have, she said. However, I would like to emphasize that the monarchy offers a level of long-term stability through the Constitution that is actually rather difficult to obtain in any other method. The royal family was praised by user Anglo-Saxon51, who stated, "The monarchy is here to stay. It has been that way for more than 1,000 years and will continue to be so for another 1,000. The user Starmer Slipflops had a similar sentiment when they said, "Yes, they are a part of our heritage and history," while Glasshoffel10, who goes by the username, claimed that their significance in contemporary culture has diminished. He wrote, "A role in British life. Yes, but diminishing relevance." However, commenter Exel1 with the handle, "No, they are irrelevant in this century," disagreed, believing that they had already lost their significance. The cameraman was expelled from the coronation by King Charles. During the rehearsal, when the most important element of the ceremony, anointing the monarch with holy oil, was being practiced, the king caught a glimpse of the BBC cameraman out of the corner of his eye. The journalist left his designated position to try to record the rehearsal on camera. According to reports, King Charles believed a BBC cameraman was surreptitiously attempting to capture a walkthrough for a crucial point and ordered him out of coronation preparations, as well as prohibited him from filming the main event. The king supposedly became concerned when he noticed the BBC employee out of the corner of his eye, as he may have been trying to secretly film when he shouldn't have been. Additionally, high-ranking sources claim that Charles reportedly warned officials, "He's not filming my coronation." Security then led the seasoned cameraman out of Westminster Abbey. Senior sources said that the journalist was seen attempting to watch the sacred anointing run-through after leaving his formally appointed location near the entrance. They claim the cameraman loitered close to the screens while using his cell phone. Security then led the senior cameraman out of the Abbey in front of the perplexed dignitaries. A BBC executive allegedly tore up the cameraman's filming permit on the Abbey stairs. He was put on indefinite leave and prohibited from working for the national broadcaster throughout the weekend of the coronation. According to insiders, the man's pattern of behavior had disturbed witnesses, who also believed he might be attempting to record unauthorized video of Charles on his phone. The BBC was humiliated by this, and everyone involved was in astonishment, a source told The Sun. During the rehearsal for the most delicate phase of the ceremony, Charles noticed the photographer attempting to capture him on camera. The BBC employee was acting suspiciously as he skulked in front of the TVs carrying his phone. He had absolutely no business being there. He was permitted to work in the Abbey. Any journalist leaving their assigned place in such circumstances is exceedingly unusual. And it's profoundly troubling to consider that he might be attempting to record priceless moments that are being kept secret from the public. The most significant part of the religious ceremonial, the anointing of the king with holy oil, was covered during the rehearsal. It was always intended for this portion of the coronation to be hidden from both audience members in the Abbey and viewers at home. It is a horrifying thought that the king's privacy might be violated in this way, another person stated. For everyone involved, the rehearsal was a difficult and nervous period. The senior cameraman for the BBC was a disgrace and was appropriately fired. The BBC is under increasing criticism as a result of complaints that its anti-competitive restrictions on access to Coronation coverage. It's believed that before commencing, it backed off. The individual was removed from the Abbey, but Buckingham Palace made no remarks about it. The BBC has stated that it will not comment on specific workers.